All right, guys, get a load of this one from the Associated Press, Dateline Jerusalem. Israel said Thursday it will bar 2 Democratic congresswomen from entering the country ahead of a planned visit over their support for a Palestinian-led boycott movement, a decision announced shortly after President Donald Trump tweeted that it would show great weakness to allow them in. The move to bar Representatives Rashida Talaib of Michigan and Ilhan Omar of Minnesota from visiting appeared to be unprecedented. It marked a deep foray by Israel into America's bitterly polarized politics and a sharp escalation of Israel's campaign against the international boycott movement. The 2 newly elected Muslim members of Congress are outspoken critics of Israel's treatment of the Palestinians and have repeatedly sparred with Trump over a range of issues. Talaib's family immigrated to the United States from the West Bank, where she still has close relatives. Unquote. My friends, not at all surprisingly, here's a follow-up from the Hill. The American Israel Public Affairs Committee, AIPAC, on Thursday broke with Israel's decision to bar Democrat Representatives Omar and Talaib from visiting the country, saying, quote, every member of Congress should be able to visit. Quote, we disagree with Reps Omar and Talaib's support for the anti-Israel and anti-peace BDS movement. Along with Representative Talaib's call for a one-state solution, we also believe every member of Congress should be able to visit and experience our Democratic ally Israel firsthand, AIPAC tweeted Thursday. Stop. My friends, I like to say stay angry on this show. I will have no trouble doing that today for several reasons. Allow me to outline them for you. Number one, Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar are garbage. They're anti-Semitic, racist, supporters of terrorism. They're Muslims who hate the West and who hate America, hate Jews, hate Christians. I don't want that filth in this country, but there's nothing I can do about it. Israel is absolutely right to bar them. That's number one. Number two, big fat I told you so. I've been saying since the 1980s. That's true, I wasn't on the radio then, but I've been saying it anyway. That the only way to have peace and security in Israel is to get rid of the Palestinians. Well, Israel has steadfastly ignored me. Palestinians are still running around Israel, causing trouble, murdering, raping, burning, doing terrible things. You don't hear about it as much anymore. I don't know if that means it's simmered down a little more since Israel built the wall, or if it just means the media is not reporting it. But I said way back in the 80s that if the leader of Israel allowed the Palestinians to stay, they would have unending grief. And this latest thing is just the latest example. It says in the Bible, which I read from time to time. Actually, I read it every single day. I recommend you to too. It says that when the Israelites enter the land, they've got to get rid of the people who live there, or they will be thorns in your eyes and stickers in your sides. People who feel, incorrectly, feel that the land belongs to them will never accept peace with the people they feel, incorrectly, has stolen it from them. Palestinians are murderers and terrorists. In fact, I was banned from Facebook for writing exactly that. So now you got two pieces of trash like Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, and they want to go visit Israel, which they campaign against and despise and would love to see destroyed. And I think Israel is 1,000% right in barring them. Now, as for AIPAC, I have also long said AIPAC is an asswipe of an organization. Even with a president like Barack Obama, who is openly anti-Semitic and openly anti-Israel and treated the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, like trash, even Barack Obama, AIPAC loved. They attached their lips to his backside and never removed them. AIPAC does nothing. Whoever's in power, they cozy up to. They think that somehow it's going to bring about something positive. I don't see anything. And so, I have to tell you this, and maybe I shouldn't say this in public. Maybe I shouldn't say this on the radio. What the hell? The worst anti-Semites in the world, historically, have been Jewish people themselves. You can always count on Jews, my fellow Jews. I am a proud Orthodox Jew. But liberal Jews will always take the opportunity to put a knife in their own people. They will always weigh in on behalf of anti-Semites. I can't tell you how many Jews I've had arguments with because they defend the rights of the Palestinians, who would slit their throats in a minute if they could. So here comes asswipe AIPAC. Never met a Palestinian they didn't like, never met a president they wouldn't fall on the floor in front of. They rushed to the defense of these two haters of Jews and of Israel. Time for AIPAC to disband. They haven't done any good that I can see. In fact, now they're doing just the opposite. Now they're turning on and betraying Israel. I give Benjamin Netanyahu worlds of credit for having the strength to stand up and say no. We got enough Israel-hating Muslims here already, thank you. We don't want any more. Omar and Talaib, it is shameful and shocking for this country that two pieces of garbage like this sit in Congress. I don't think they belong in Israel. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu, who I'm confident he listens to my show every day, if he would take the next step and say, you know what, as long as we've kept two Muslims out, one Palestinian and one Somalian, as long as we put two out, why don't we put the other 1.5 million or 2 million out also? Why don't we have peace in Israel? Why don't we have security in Israel? And instead of groveling in front of terrorists and murderers and rapists, why don't we get rid of them finally? No, my friends, I don't expect Benjamin Netanyahu to do that. And that's part of the ongoing pity and tragedy of the state of Israel. A state that on one hand fights to survive, and on the other hand can't wait to commit suicide. Thursday, Real Truth. Be right back.
Remember the energy crisis of the 70s? A lot of people panicked. We came up with a solution. The best way to insulate your house, save you money, and increase your comfort. The best way to air cool and add insulation to your attic. The best way to insulate your wall cabinets, whether your house is brick, aluminum, steel, vinyl, woodblack, stucco, or plasterboard. Even if your walls were previously insulated. The best way to perform energy assessments and the best way to help our customers qualify for utility. 43 years later, a lot has changed. A lot of our competition has come and gone. A few things that haven't. We're still family-owned and operated. We still develop new methods and techniques. We are still saving energy, more importantly, saving our customers money. Best Way Insulation, founded in 1976, 303-469-0808. That's 303-469-0808. Join us and don't miss a moment of the Alex Jones Show, your number one source for real independent media. Find out what the mainstream media doesn't want you to know. InfoWars is pro-America, pro-family, pro-freedom. We are rebooting 1776. Exclusive reports, live covers, information you won't find anywhere else. Tomorrow's news today. Stay informed by listening to KHNC 1360 AM. The Alex Jones Show on KHNC, the heart of Northern Colorado. I do this seem America is slowly sinking. Whose fault is it? It's not the Obamas or the Clintons. It's not Republicans or Democrats. It's not corporations, the military, or foreign countries. It's the Federal Reserve, a central banking system made up of private bankers that corrupt and control virtually all aspects of the world's money supply and economy. All of the major problems in the world can be traced to the Federal Reserve and central banks of other countries. Hi, I'm Jason with the Colorado Front Range News Hour. Catch my show with co-host Brian here on KHNC 3 to 4, Monday through Friday.
All right, guys, I am back. Speaking of keeping people who don't belong in the country the hell out of it, let's talk about illegal immigration. This is a video I played 2 or 3 weeks ago. Tucker Carlson from PragerU.com. This whole battle about immigration is not about race, and it's not about immigration. It's about power. I've said it 1,000 times. Tucker Carlson's going to say exactly the same thing, except he gets paid millions of dollars and I don't. Here we go. So why is Joe, let me interrupt you, Tucker. So why is Joe Biden now hammering tongues in favor of letting illegals in? I can answer you in one word. Whore. Joe Biden is a whore. He will do anything for power. Now, he's not going to get power. He's going to be out of the race before too much longer. But he, like all the other Democrats, will say and do anything to get illegals into this country because they think they're bringing in ringers. They think they're bringing in people who are always going to vote Democrat and give them a permanent majority and de facto control of this country. They may be right, which is why they got to be stopped. Not negotiated with, not pandered to, but defeated at the ballot box. Joe Biden is a phony. Jerry Brown, former governor of California, is a phony. What he was saying back in the 80s was real. Why import poor people? You say that now, you're a racist, of course. Even though poor is not a race. Anybody of any race can be poor. Doesn't mean you got to let them into your country. Let's go back to Tucker. Exactly right. And as a matter of fact, excuse me, Tucker, for jumping in again. What Bill Clinton said in 1995, Bill Clinton, darling of the left, hero of the Democrat Party, he's saying exactly what Donald Trump is saying today. So is Donald Trump okay? Or is Bill Clinton a racist? You can't have your taco and eat it. It's one or the other. Bill Clinton was right. Never thought I'd say that. Bill Clinton was right about illegal immigration, like Cesar Chavez was right, like Jerry Brown was right. The reason the tone and the message are different today is political whores, dimwits who don't realize that unchecked immigration will destroy this country, spoiled, rotten Americans who want to see America destroyed because of some aberrant psychosis, and people who just aren't paying attention. But when those Democrats were saying decades ago that illegal immigration was ruining this country, they were right. And when Donald Trump says it today, he's right. So anyone who wants illegals flowing effortlessly into this country wants this country destroyed. And those people I have no common bond with.
Announced as a racist.
Excuse me, Mrs. Clinton. I'm sure that Hillary listens to my show, so you'll excuse me, and I want to address her directly. Hillary, if you were voting for funding for the wall, why didn't you extract your head from your ass long enough to get it done? Or did you only vote for it because you knew it wouldn't get done and you wanted to be on record? Who knows? Hillary is also a whore. By the way, worst looking whore I've ever seen, but a whore nonetheless. The Democrats used to vote for funding for a wall, so why is there no wall? Ever ask yourself questions like that? If America's had a war on poverty since the 60s, why is there not just still poverty, but more poverty? If we have been ratcheting up the amount of money we spend on education since the 60s, since the 50s, how come our kids are less educated, more poorly educated than they were back in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s? Anybody ever ask these questions except me? The Democrats used to want what was best for this country. They just went about it in a stupid way. Now they want to rip down this country. And so it's never, ever been more important to defeat them at the ballot box on every level of government.
Barack Obama and Chuck Schumer and 23 other Senate Democrats. Not anymore. 20 years after Bill Clinton told Americans they had the right to be upset about illegal immigration, his wife scolded the country for enforcing border controls. So what changed? Not the economics of it. The law of supply and demand remained in effect. It's not a coincidence that as illegal immigration surged, wages for American workers stagnated. What changed is
Let me offer my theory. Over the decades, Americans began to get clued into the fact that the Democrats have no answers, no solutions, no fix for what ails America, and Democrats knew that. And they thought, well, obviously we can't convince enough Americans, so we're going to find non-Americans. And we're going to make sure they can come here and vote. And that way, we'll be like stuffing the ballot box. That's my idea. Let's see what Tucker Carlson thinks. After all, he makes millions of dollars.
Democrats stopped caring.
My friends, I love a blast of truth. You get it at PragerU.com. You get it from Tucker Carlson. It's all about power. Not about you. Not about your family. Not about your fellow Americans. The hell with you, the Democrats say, and they're open about it. They want what's good for Democrats. They have a weird, bizarro vision of America that could not survive and should not survive. And that's what they want to inflict on people. You see, Republicans, political conservatives, we try and convince people to come along with us. The Democrats say, screw people. We're going to legislate from the courts, from the bench. We're going to bring in ringers, make them citizens, and just stuff the ballot box, like I said a minute ago. That's another major difference between Democrats and Republicans. So if you line up with Democrats, you're lining up with the faction that hates America and doesn't mind cheating to win and destroy America. Anybody out there pissed, or is it just me? 877-254-7524. If you're pissed at the way the Democrats are cheating in order to destroy America, call me. Tell me. I'd like to think I'm not the only one with high blood pressure about this issue. But make no mistake about it. Whether it's city, county, state, or federal, we have got to vote out all of the Democrats. They're like a fifth column in this country. Anybody know what the fifth column was? Fifth column was a Nazi spy ring operating in America, operating covertly so that they could subvert the United States, just like Muslims do now. The third group is the Democrats, working against Americans at every level. Item. From CBS News, from Little League to the ubiquitous suburban soccer field, youth sports in the United States has long been considered an important part of growing up. But the rising cost of playing sports, coupled with rising economic inequality, is increasingly leading poor and even middle-class families to hang up their cleats. That trend is being fueled by the growth of pay-to-play sports, which is making organized athletics prohibitively expensive for many households. Participation in sports among families earning less than $75,000 a year has dropped since 2011, according to the Aspen Institute's Project Play. By contrast, children from better-off families are participating in even greater numbers. About 7 of 10 children from families that earn more than $100,000 play sports, compared with 3 in 10 from families earning less than $25,000, the nonprofit think tank found in the 2018 report. Folks, I'm sure that electronic games and smart telephones play a role in this. All kids want to do these days is sit and do this with their phones. Stupidly, parents allow it. Parents take the phones away from the kids. Yes, they'll scream and they'll kick and they'll fuss and they'll hate your guts. But if you're dedicated to being a good parent, that's beside the point. Take away the phones, send them outside, and let them get some exercise. We'll be right back.
A lot of radio stations boast about having 2, 3, 4, 500,000 listeners. But what they don't tell you is the average listener only listens for 4 minutes. A song plays they don't like, same old boring commentary, or worse yet, as soon as the commercial starts playing, they change the station. Here at 1360 KHNC, our listeners listen longer, a lot longer. We have one of the longest time listeners in the industry. That means our listeners don't change the dial when the commercial starts playing because they don't want to miss what our host has to say next. Advertise at 1360 KHNC and have your message heard. Call us at 970-587-5003. We also have the best rates in Colorado. 970-587-5003 or 1360KHNC.com. Grandpa's Pawn and Guns celebrated 25 years of business. They're a family-owned and family-operated store and the only non-corporate pawn shop in Colorado. According to alcohol, tobacco, firearms, they're the state's second highest volume variety of archery equipment. Peak season is just around the corner, and protecting your family is always Grandpa staff has over 100 combined years of experience, including Chris Lewis, Brady, and Hale, who are licensed gunsmiths with 25 plus years of being grandpa. Jason here. I've known Rod, the owner of Grandpa's Pawn, since 1990, Blackjack Regional location in Omaha. He was our first advertiser at KHNC. He is trustworthy and honest. I trust him, and you will too. Call 303-772-7952. That's 303-772-7952. Before hiring a realtor from a big corporation who outsources their jobs and pays little to no taxes, ask yourself what you want in a realtor. You need a realtor who is honest and has integrity. A realtor who is focused on the client's bottom line, not the realtor's bottom line. Who provides personable, over-the-top service before, during, and after the transaction. You want a realtor that knows how to market your property. Hi, I'm James Morgan, a realtor with Grisham & Associates, LLC. I am your Colorado real estate specialist. Land deals, mountain cabins, or urban dwellings, I've got you covered. For the first-time home buyer, we will make it the best experience. If you are looking to move up or downsizing, we will do better than your last transaction. Call me today at 720-203-0731 or visit coloradoproperties.online. Let me do a great job for you.
All right, guys, welcome back to Real Truth. Howard Real, the host of the show and the author of Real Truth, Stay Angry. You can find it on virtualbookworm.com. You can also get it at barnesandnoble.com. What else? Amazon.com. Excellent book. Check it out. Look at it online. I think that you will love it. If you're listening to the show, you'll love the book. A lot of stink about the Statue of Liberty, of all things. I mean, if we're going to have controversy about crosswalk signs, I suppose we're going to have controversy now about Lady Liberty. Well, Lady Liberty is not inviting people to come here illegally, break the law and come here and sponge off Americans. That's not what the Statue of Liberty is about. I know, because I grew up looking at it. You can see it very clearly from Brooklyn. It's not about that at all. Here is Glenn Beck, who also gets paid millions of dollars more than I do, talking about Lady Liberty.
So as I usually do every morning, I try to listen to the left, listen to the opinions of the other side, so I can understand where they're coming from. Many times it has been important to listen to where people are coming from, to be able to understand their point of view, and be able to understand how they arrived at where they are. But increasingly, it is becoming more and more frustrating because there is no logic and there is no authentic fact that is backing up what they have to say. Yesterday, we talked about the facts of guns and gun control. Today, we're going to continue that later on in the program on the facts of red flags. It's been done before, and it hasn't ended up well. So we'll talk to you about the facts, and that is really important. If you don't know the facts, please shut your mouth. If you don't know the facts, ask, read. But even the facts that you think you know, perhaps you should look into. Here's what I heard today from the Washington Post and their podcast. I want you to listen to this opening story, the way they frame it.
Give us you're tired, you're poor. Those lines etched on the Statue of Liberty by poet Emma Lazarus are part of our common understanding about what America is, what it has stood for since its founding. Yesterday, a top immigration official in the White House, King Kuchari, said he's, quote, certainly not prepared to take anything down off the Statue of Liberty. But at the same time, a new administration will fundamentally change who gets to come to this country.
Absolutely, and thank God for the new rule. Here, I'll spoil it for you. The Trump administration is saying you can't come here and go on welfare. You have to come here and be self-sufficient. Can any sane, rational individual argue with that? Didn't Didn't Governor Moonbeam back in the 80s, Jerry Brown, didn't he say correctly we can't bring poor people here? We don't need to import poverty? Of course we can't. Who could support that? And yet liberals do.
Okay.
My friends, I'll tell you when that happened. It started in the 60s with the Democrats, LBJ, and the welfare state. That's when it started. So America hung a big sign over its neck that said, "We're suckers. Come take advantage of us." You know, there's a big difference, a world of difference between giving someone a handout or a hand up. I'm all in favor of giving people a hand up. Come here, work hard, and earn your share of the American dream. Succeed. Become rich. But come here and go immediately on welfare? Screw you. Stay in your country and take handouts. Don't come here and be a burden on society.
Since when?
Teaching it to your friends is good. Okay, you should definitely do that. But for God's sake, teach it to your children. The children in this country are growing up to be hardcore snowflakes. Or softcore, I guess. There's nothing hard about them. They're growing up to become mindless liberals. And it's the death of this country. Teach it to your children. Make sure they understand why.
I have yet to see the anchor or anyone from the left that will honestly say, you know what? I was wrong. I learned something. I see this in a different way. I had a misunderstanding. I have not seen that from the left. I have seen that from the right. We've done it on this program. It's important. If you don't do that, you're not learning anything. So the misunderstanding is that the Statue of Liberty, the emphasis is always on she's the mother of exiles. She's this mom. And she's saying, give us your poor and your tired and your huddled masses because we're a giant hospital.
Now, what is it? Hang on. What is that statue called? Statue of what? Statue of welfare? Statue of free stuff? The statue of Obama phones? It's a statue of liberty on Liberty Island. Because what we offer people coming to this country is liberty. We'll get the tyrannical government off your back. We'll let you do whatever you want to do. Here's the catch. You've got to do. You can't come here and sit back with your hand out. You have the liberty to pursue your dreams. So get off your ass and pursue. I'll tell you what that means because we're about to go to the commercial break. It means the energy, the desire that we have to succeed is now unleashed because now we have liberty. It doesn't mean come here and get food stamps. We'll be right back.
Howard?
Yes, ma'am.
John from Kersey, Colorado will be on with you when you come back from break.
Excellent.
Call him up.
Great, thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
Bills for typically capacity. Come fly fish the North Platte River, Scottsdale, South. Hi, Brian here, Scottsdale, South. 740-460-8873. Visit our website at Scottsdale. Servicing the whole North Platte River from North 18. Target district. 4 hours north of Pittsburgh and 1 hour of Pittsburgh. Book a trip at ScottDavis.com. 70460-8873. Very beginner friendly. Approximately 8 hours on the critical for the staff and internet software. Prices include new season flights, all theaters, not just for food and English. All about good transportation service to the agency.
Oh.
Bigfoot, express versus addiction. Yeah, those things are all pretty hard to find. Look for you at least a great super hit. Quality for investing. We don't know what's working for the contractor. Bring our customers to the best selection at the highest quality price of food available online. $100 has decades of experience and users installed with clear quality practice. We also offer a flexible work support for all services and 5% more price. I just want to let you know that we will be aware of some issues that they allow. Improving. Transfer call us today at 303-593-ROOF. That's 303-593-6634. Or visit roofing.com.
Information you won't find anywhere else. Now let's go to right here on KHNC, the heart of Northern Colorado, KHNC.
My friends, Real Truth marches on. My name's Howard Real. We are back, and I've got John from Kersey on the line. John, how you doing? It's been a while.
Hey, good, Howard. Thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure. What can I do you for?
I was just listening to, I think it was Glenn Beck, right?
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Is that Glenn Beck?
Okay.
Were you just playing Glenn?
Yes, that was Glenn Beck.
Okay. I seem to remember Glenn Beck handing out teddy bears to tens of thousands of illegal alien children that were disguised as human smugglers a few years ago.
Really? Okay, well, has he changed his mind about illegals or no? Or is this just show?
Well, I think he changes his mind when it benefits him financially. His audience turned on him ferociously after that.
Right.
And when he became an anti-Trumper.
Right. I remember that. It could. Go ahead.
So, I just don't trust Glenn Beck anymore. What he's saying is true, and I'm glad he's saying it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You don't really have to trust Glenn Beck as long as he's putting the truth. Look, I used to trust this guy Scaramucci, and now he turned out to be a slime ball, out doing interviews on CNN and lying his ass off. What?
It's unbelievable how Scaramucci changed his tune.
What is he? I guarantee there are dollars behind it. He's making money somehow for turning on Trump. Do you understand how?
No, I do not. One other thing.
Yeah.
Remember the raids that were performed by ICE on those meat processing plants recently?
Yeah, not that recently, I think, a while back, but I remember them.
Well, they picked up about 680 people, I think, in the last few weeks.
Okay.
They were working illegally. Apparently, half of them were released almost immediately for humanitarian reasons, and I believe that was because they had children in the household.
Okay.
That's very troubling. I voted for Trump. The main reason I voted for him was because of the border problem.
Right.
And I just am very worried that he is going to lose enough of his base because he has not done enough yet, and he's not going to be reelected.
Well, is it that he hasn't done enough, or that he's been stymied at absolutely every turn?
You know, Howard, I'm hoping it's because he's been partially stymied, but his daughter Ivanka is a real problem.
Why?
She is pushing for amnesty. She has been for the last 2 years, and now she's pushing for gun control. And I just think that he needs to just tell her to STFU and push her aside because she is poison to him.
Well, you know, John, I got to tell you, I am a staunch supporter of the Second Amendment, but I see an awful lot of people out there with assault rifles killing people, and I'm wondering if American citizens should have assault rifles. What do you think?
I think everybody should have one, and you know, maybe more than one. But there's one other thing that according to the FBI, they keep very close statistics on gun killings. Of the 15,000 killings by guns in the last calendar year for which they're available, only 423 were committed with rifles. Any kind of rifle.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I just don't think that assault weapons are the problem. I think it's our culture, our young people are very troubled. They don't have a purpose in life, and they need to get off of the SSRIs as soon as possible.
Well, you know what? I agree with you, and I think I went on about that last week. And I don't know if that's a problem that's solvable. Are parents suddenly going to start being better parents and infusing their kids with purpose and meaning in life? I hope so. Does that kind of thing ever happen? John, you there? Okay, you're gone. I don't hear you. I cannot hear you. All right. John, thanks very much for the phone call. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend. My friends, I told you my listeners are the cream of the crop, and John is absolutely correct. He's called in many times before, and he is spot on. The reason we're seeing outrage after outrage is our culture, or lack of it, our society. Kids don't have any meaning, but there is no shortage of meaning in life. You've got to present it to your kids. You got to tell them about it. You got to show them how to grab it. And if your parents don't do that, you've got to find meaning yourself. I guarantee you meaning is not to be found in smartphones and video games and surfing porn. There's plenty of meaning. There's just as much meaning today as there ever has been on planet Earth. And we are just such an amused, such a leisure-stricken society. All we think about is fun and sex. That's why our kids are bereft of any sense of being grounded these days. I don't know. As for Glenn Beck changing his tune, maybe it's because he's been listening to Real Truth every day and just hasn't told anybody. Am I allowed to believe that? Can I hit the weekend believing that? Thank you very much, because that'll make me feel a heck of a lot better. Let's take a break. We'll come back and wrap it up here on Real Truth.
Was your home built between 1965 and 1975? If so, you may have aluminum fire stock. Aluminum firing can be hazardous. These homes are about 50 years old now. Using more power than ever imagined back in the day. And aluminum fires does not get better with time. They are much harder to observe and harder to sell. But aluminum fire repairs are electric. Focus on the permanent mitigation of the aluminum fire hazard. Call them for a quick inspection now. Aluminum fire repair. 720-99-4703. Or visit their website at ALFirerepair.com. Don't walk online just because it has aluminum fire. Let them help you. Your safety is their business. They are equal rates with the Better Business Bureau. Call them today. 720-99-4706. Or visit their website, ALFirerepair.com. The major trading and all American gold.com. 147. Most people don't even know that the courts have already ruled. Once money is deposited into the bank owns the money, and the depositor is merely an unsecured creditor of the bank. Which means that the bank goes under, you get paid last. After the financial crisis, instead of breaking up too big to fail, the Federal Reserve created Dodd-Frank and made too big to fail banks even bigger. Well, what if your deposit more at risk? I'm Joe Jacob, CEO of the Industry Trading Group. To learn more, visit us at allamericangold.com or call us at 800-951-0592. Guns! If you're looking to buy a firearm, go immediately to the big red building on 9th Avenue, Baltimore. Grandpa's Pawn and Gun, the second highest volume gun dealer in Colorado, with 500 guns to choose from. Call 303-772-7952.
Item from the BBC, a group of YouTube video makers is suing it and parent company Google, claiming both discriminate against LGBT-themed videos and their creators. The group claims YouTube restricts advertising on LGBT videos and limits their reach and discoverability. But YouTube said sexual orientation and gender identity played no role in deciding whether videos could earn ad revenue or appear in search results. A group is hoping a jury will hear its case in California. The legal action makes a wide range of claims, including that YouTube removes advertising from videos featuring trigger words such as gay or lesbian, often labels LGBT-themed videos as sensitive or mature and restricts them from appearing in search results or recommendations, does not do enough to filter harassment and hate speech in the comment section. Unquote. My friends, there should be no harassment and hate speech. Then again, in for a penny, in for a pound. If you're going to have free speech, then you're going to have free speech. As far as gays and lesbians and LGBT-themed videos, I don't want to see that on the internet. I don't want children to see it on the internet. Remember children? There was a time when this country cared about protecting children. Item from Newsweek.com. A man, allegedly a correctional officer, drove a pickup truck into a group of Jewish peaceful demonstrators protesting outside the Wyatt Detention Center in Rhode Island on Wednesday night. Hundreds of Jewish protesters, mostly members of Never Again Action, a group that advocates for the rights of migrants detained by ICE, gathered outside the Donald W. White detention facility at Central. Long story short, I love the Jewish people. I am part of the Jewish people, and there are a lot of Jewish people who are liberal and as stupid as a bag of rocks. Getting together to protest ICE is like slashing your wrists. It's an unbearably stupid thing to do. Item from Breitbart. CNN staffers are, quote, embarrassed by primetime host Christopher Cuomo's videotaped freakout in which he threatened a man with physical violence for referring to him as Fredo, a term he claimed was an anti-Italian slur, according to the report. Punk-ass blanks from the right called me Fredo. My name is Chris Cuomo. I'm an anchor on CNN, the host is seen saying on the video. And he then goes into numerous F-bombs. And I want to thank Chris Cuomo for proving what I've been saying all along, that liberals are stupid children. When pressed, Chris Cuomo acted the way a child would. He had a temper tantrum. He started spewing every hateful word he could think of. I thought liberals are supposed to be more welcoming, more encompassing, warmer, friendlier, more righteous, more accepting. Where the hell did that go? Item from the AP, a 9-year-old girl suing a centuries-old Berlin boys choir, arguing that her bid to join was only rejected because of her gender. Sweetie, first of all, I want to know where a 9-year-old got an attorney from. Obviously, it's her parents. Her parents are jackasses. It's a boys' choir. Did anyone notice the word boys in there? I'll say it again. Boys' choir, not girls' choir. Young lady, time to learn right now some things in life you simply can't have. I'll be back on Monday with more Real Truth, which is something you can have, just like my book, Real Truth, Stay Angry. Hasta luego, my friends. Be well.